Sugarloaf Island serves as a natural protective barrier for our beloved downtown Morehead City waterfront and all of its economic and natural benefit. The island's strategic location makes it even more crucial to prevent it from erosion, as our area is all too familiar to coastal storms. Morehead City would like to thank Senator Norm Sanderson and Representative Celeste Kearns, as well as former Representative Pat McElrath, for securing this funding via the state budget, which totals approximately $8.6 million in directed funding to save Sugarloaf Island. The city would also like to thank all of our project stakeholders and partners, including the NC Coastal Federation, as well as Sea Shoreline, and all other stakeholders that are making this project possible.
Morehead City has a long partnership with the Coastal Federation. The island of Sugarloaf, right outside of Morehead, was going to be slated for development in the late 90s. And through the partnership with the city and the Federation, we were able to receive funding through Clean Water Management Trust Fund, which is now North Carolina Land and Water Fund. And we purchased the island, put it under a conservation easement, and keeping that island maintained as a safe place, keeping it in a natural state, allowing it to be an area for the community to access for recreation. So it's a great partnership. What we've noticed over the past 25 years is that a lot of the island has receded. We've lost over 7 acres of the island, and that is leaving the infrastructure of downtown Morehead City open for damage during storms and hurricane events. So the goal of this project was to not only protect the island, but try to build back the island to its original state. So through that project, installing a living shoreline around the island to act as a speed bump, but also creating oyster reef habitat and using the WAD units, which are really awesome units. Due to the depth of the island, so the depth of the water around the island, it was going to be tricky to put certain materials out in the water, but what the WADs provide is a space for habitat to just attracting the habitat and the wildlife to it. So in each unit, there's a lot of interstitial space, it's open, so wildlife is able to interact. That's going to increase fisheries in the long run, which is providing more recreational value for the island. The project is pretty much complete. The living shoreline's installed. We have oyster reefs installed. There's also been some salt marsh plantings along most of the island that is going to help just build back the island, keep it conserved. So the remaining part of the project is doing seagrass plantings. So we're going to be looking down the road over the next couple of years to see where we can go with that and have this island protect Morehead City. The WADs have been in for a little less than a year, and we're already noticing the trapping of sediment and soils behind the structures, which is going to be building up the shoreline. Over time, through that natural process, we should see that occurring every year, and it may be different each year as far as that sediment accumulation. But we're already seeing lots of wildlife around the structures, oyster growth along the oyster reef, and then that buffering of that wave energy that's hitting the island. So just within a couple months after it was installed, we saw a big change, and it's been in a little under a year, and we're seeing an increase in habitat and protection of the island.
Sea Shoreline was the main contractor on the Sugarloaf Restoration Project. It's a great project to highlight nature-based solutions where the habitat, the community, and the island are all enhanced through a larger encompassing project. The project was funded through leadership in North Carolina Legislature. It's been a great partnership where local communities, the North Carolina Coastal Federation, and private industry were able to get together and implement a project at scale. The problem with the environment is we know how to damage it and we know how to put it back. But as a community, we don't know how to live with it. And so this project provides habitat for the wildlife. It provides natural infrastructure for the local community in increasing the resiliency of the area. And then it also creates opportunities for recreation. So people can still go out there on the island and enjoy nature, enjoy the Sandbar, and just really participate as a community for this project. It is a wonderful nature-based solution. We think it's a model for the rest of the state and country in reality. So we're really excited to be the contractor on this project. It's been a long time coming. It was a multi-phased, multi-year funding And we believe it's just the start, and it really is a showpiece for the community, for the city, and we're just so appreciative of it. Sea Shoreline is a Florida-based firm. This is one of our first projects in North Carolina. Working in North Carolina, it's a very pro-business community. The city has really welcomed us with open arms. The money for the project went into local contractors. It went into heads and beds. So it is an economic driver for the city and for the county and the state as a whole. And we expect that projects like this to continue to happen because North Carolina is just such a pro-economic driver and a pro-business situation. And so we're really appreciative of that.
As a resident of Morehead City, I am aware of the importance of protecting our natural resources. And we knew during the project that it was going to be a balance between doing that and changing the look of the island a little bit. And we did what was the most environmentally friendly approach to protecting the island while maintaining the natural resources. And if nothing were done, Sugarloaf Island would disappear in a few years. And all of those impacts would be felt on these restaurants, hotels, businesses here on the waterfront. So it was definitely a necessity, and in the long run it is going to and has already improved fishing around the island. And it looks a little bit different, but we needed the change in order to be able to protect the city. So we are pretty much complete with the project. The only remaining components are to plant seagrasses landward of the wave attenuation devices, and then to perform some dredging on the east end of the island. So we're hoping to secure some funding for that. And then the monitoring, of course, continues, because we're not going to leave the project alone. We want to be able to come back and see routinely how the project is improving the habitat, the water quality, how the project's helping to protect downtown Morehead from storms and storm surge and wind events. So my role in the project was to work with all of the project partners to first get together and look at the need for the project, what needed to be done, what are the problems, and then to go and seek out the funding. And we were very thankful to receive funding from the legislature to be able to complete not only a portion of this project, but to be able to complete the entire length of the shoreline, which is really going to benefit Morehead City and protect that downtown waterfront to the best extent possible. So we wanted to get everyone at the table to provide that technical expertise. We wanted to survey the problem and come up with the best solutions for the island. And both in terms of improving water quality, generating habitat, but also protecting the shoreline from erosion. So that involved, I kind of led the project team, and we would meet routinely, and it truly was a partnership effort where we brainstormed, we came up with the right solutions. We consulted with the community to make sure that everyone was on board with the project.
I've been part of the design, permitting, and implementation team for Sugarloaf Island Restoration. We're currently in the phases of monitoring and establishment of water level meters and so forth for the island. For a small island, Sugarloaf really packs a huge punch in terms of ecological benefits for the city. There's also a lot of recreational activity on the island for boaters. In addition, arguably most importantly, the island serves as a natural line of defense from large storm events that strike our area. But currently, we're conducting our first annual monitoring event, which is required by the state and federal permit agencies, and it helps us make adjustments to our restoration work on the island. So we're monitoring our native vegetation. We've established long-term vegetation plots. We're also looking at the level of scour and the level of oyster and other shellfish growth around our outer sill system, which is a concrete pyramid system known as wave attenuation devices. In addition to that, in the nearshore environment, there's Sandbar Oyster Company's oyster catcher solution system, and we're monitoring oyster growth on that, as well as sediment accumulation in the nearshore. So in addition to native plugs that have been planted on the island or native marsh grass vegetation, We're monitoring for seagrass or submerged aquatic vegetation, also referred to as SAV. Historically, there's been seagrass in this area. However, in the recent past, we've seen a loss of seagrass. However, after we've installed the outer sill system, we have seen some patches of seagrass naturally form. So in the future, we're planning on restoring seagrass even further by introducing native plugs and plantings, and then we'll follow that up with long-term monitoring of the seagrass.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to start and tell you a little bit about my history. I came here in 1989, so it's quite a while ago, and Sugarloaf Island, was here and much bigger at that time, and the family would come out and enjoy the beaches that were on the south side of the island, and just this natural environment, which over the years has kind of been diminishing and going away, and so it's been kind of very sad to see that happening. It's not just here; it's happening everywhere. So this project to preserve Sugarloaf has been exciting to see implemented. So with the WADs, the big wave attenuating devices, knocking back a lot of that energy, it's helped to stabilize the shoreline. But the oyster reefs are doing a really good job too of keeping a shoreline in place to add some habitat that's got important fishery value, to have the waves and currents bring sand over the system, over the reef system, and then deposit that sand behind the reef, and then the plant communities grow into that. And that's really a very important part of the coastal protection. So this Sugarloaf project is bringing all those things together in a very visible way, particularly for Morehead City and the importance it's bringing here. The oyster catcher product is a cloth-based hardscape, and we make these small modular units that kind of look like a table, and what we've done out here in Sugarloaf, pillows, and we combine these into a fairly low structure. What you can do in thinking about, you can kind of think about what we do is rough framing a house. So we're putting up the studs and the floors and the roof, kind of as you see at this construction site next to Sugarloaf. And then the oysters are our construction partners. They come in, they seal it all together, they start putting the roof on, putting on the siding, building the internal structure, so then you see the finished house. And that's what we're trying to do, is be a scaffold for that oyster reef, be a catalyst for reef development, and get all the benefits of a wonderful oyster reef. The reefs, once they're constructed, both sort of this table form, it's about 2 feet like that, and this other shape, this pillow type thing, about 4 feet long, we put in underneath. They do a real good job of trapping sediment. So yes, they are building up a good sediment bed. Particularly, you can see on the end of the spit over here, if you have an opportunity to see that. We've gotten to a point where the tables are almost, you can't see them because the sediment's built up, which is not a bad thing, because then the salt marsh grows on top of that, and the roots actually grow through that structure and get that extra protection when there is a storm event. So losing a reef because it's getting sedimented over is not a bad deal. In fact, if the plants are growing on top of it, it's probably the best of all outcomes. Yeah, if you have a chance to see the reefs out here, you'll see a lot of oysters. And if you sort of count up how many millions there might be on the structures, I think we created about 2,600 feet of oyster reef along the shoreline here. It's a lot of oysters. Multiply that by 50 gallons per day per oyster, and that's a lot of water that's being filtered and helping to clean the water around Morehead City and make it a better place for fish, people, all those sorts of things.